I momentarily forgot where I had put the window with the music there, and I was like, oh no. I was like, it's just gonna keep going.
Off to a good start. Well, at least you hit record this time.
Hey, only that one time. That was a good show too, man.
One time too many.
I bet the fans have already forgotten about our lost week. You will never forget, obviously.
Nope, and I'll never let you forget either.
I'm how many times? So as the fans may have remembered, we teased we might be doing a live playoff show from the auspices of Austin. How many times will I hear about that in Austin while we are in personal human contact together?
The over-under is something around 47.5, I think.
Taking the over.
Take the over.
Take the over.
Definitely
I'm sure you've probably trained the boy to lob that out as well. I would imagine.
Oh yeah, he's got the insults at the ready.
How ready do I have to be about hot take Wesley?
Just depends on if you care about Spider-Man hot takes, because that's where his hot takes lie.
He'd fit in online.
He does really hate the Lakers, so there's that.
Ooh.
So we've already got him on that one.
Can we discuss how bad the Lakers are right now? It
is highly entertaining. There's a stat. What is it? I think it's that they're 0-9 since the break when LeBron doesn't score 50. Oof.
Just incredible. Like, is it the worst team he's had since like the OG Cleveland team, like when he drafted to? Is this the worst team after that? I think so.
Yeah, I mean, if you count no Davis, yes.
Yeah.
Because you haven't had Davis for most of the years. But there were years where Boobie Gibson was his second best player, or David Jones, or what have you.
Wait, who was the first person?
Boobie Gibson, Daniel Gibson. Do you remember Boobie Gibson?
I mean, I don't remember the name, but also that was
I think it was 2007-ish, maybe, in that era.
That was my basketball wandering years where I was not aware of anything.
The post-Jordan, pre-Rose years.
Not even Rose, like I still marginally pay attention. Post-Jordan, pre-Lonzo Ball.
Pre-Nat.
Pre-Nat, yeah, basically.
I made you pay attention.
Alas.
And now you're here during a basketball nerd podcast for several million people.
Million fans. Gloating because I was able to pull it out. Last game of the week, Mr. Ayton and the Suns pulled it through, I think, by the skin of my teeth. Let's go back. Let's rerun the tape on this.
The tape.
1 3-pointer and a handful of rebounds, but that's all that matters.
It's 1 3-pointer, because if you didn't hit that 3-pointer, it's a tie and Chris goes in. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know it was that close. So Trent Jr. 11.
Mikal
10.
Mikal Bridges 9. Hit 1 on the last game. I needed 1, and he hit 1.
Wow.
It was actually a very low week for me on threes, so like I should have performed better than that.
Jalen Green 10.
Yeah,
nice.
He had a good week, but these were all like 4 game weeks too. So like Trent Jr. actually had a fairly bad week again. He needs to do better.
He's up and down.
He was only up for the first half of the season, and in the back half he's been very much up and down. So yeah, pulled it off. I am also I'm peaking. I'm the third best team in the Roto over the past 2 weeks. So
I am dead last.
I didn't even notice that. Oh my God.
I am not surprised by this. My team has been completely in the dumps for like the last 3 weeks. It's been terrible.
I did not know that.
I've turned over roughly half of my lineup in the last like month or so due to injury and shutdown. So I've been grasping at straws for weeks, and luckily, like, I haven't needed it because I built up enough of a cushion that I could lose a bunch of games at the end while I tried to figure it out. But the time for that is over, and now I am in trouble.
a big chunk of that is the fact that you are the only person. Oh, you are last in ejections. Who got ejected?
I've had a lot of ejections. I had a Randall ejection. I had a bonus ejection. How many do I have?
2. But like that in the
But-
last 2 weeks, that's you
Yeah.
are so you are dead last. That is dramatically impacting your roto rank.
But I'm not very high in anything. Look at that. Even my big man stats are way down,
No, you are bad at everything except free throw percentage.
which
somehow.
is usually my worst thing. In
That's pretty funny.
turnovers, I'm pretty decent at, which was my other like really bad thing.
Everybody actually bad at free throws. Usually free throw percentage is up in the 85s, 86s. You're best at 82. Like it's mostly everybody else is down, I think. Like
Well, it's just over a smaller sample size too. If
maybe
if a
I'm
guy
wrong.
goes 4 of 6, that's like killer for you.
I'm wrong actually. So the season one, 82 is also the top of the season. So maybe I just don't know
Yeah, that
what I'm
makes
talking
sense.
about. That's funny. So I'm feeling good. I've reshifted the season roto. I am second to last, which I find hysterical. And however, we can declare a winner for the season roto. It is Joe. So there's
Yep.
that. Joe did win. Close. League 2020 championship stolen / league is rigged for legacy fans. Came in second, eventually overcoming no move Amy, although second in the roto. Who cares? So I'm just happy that I was able to overcome my initial season disaster after my draft. And I think I've won. Hold on, I just have to confirm this because it is my show and I can gloat as much as I want.
You won several games out of. I mean, you won like 4, 3.
10.
See.
So I've 1, 2, 3.
You won 4 out of your last 6. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. I mean, it's not like amazing, but it's pretty good.
It's not like amazing.
I mean, you didn't like win like 8 in a row to pull yourself out of the hole. You
but I did
lose a lot of games there.
I did start the season 1, 1, and 8.
So close to Dunce Cap boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about Dunce Cap. See, I've already forgotten everything about the season. So close to Dunce Cap boy. So I finished strong. Like 7 of my 8 wins are in the back half of the season.
I did exactly the opposite. I was like contending for top of the thing, and then I died. So I had a really good run there in the mid-season. I won 5 out of 6. I basically lost like.
You stopped tying.
Let's see here.
You stopped tying. That was your problem. You should have kept tying.
I only lost 1 game in 9 weeks.
In
the middle of the season.
Yeah, I mean you lost 1 out of your first 11, 10. 1 out of your first 10 loss, and then it's been not so great since then.
My only losses for the first like 15 weeks of the season were 2 2020 championship stolen. Basically, that was my kryptonite. But now everyone is my kryptonite because my team is bad. How
are you feeling? So you are in the first round against Michael. I'm playing Joe. How are you feeling about that? Are you worried?
Who's not a very good matchup for me, because he just slightly outpaces me in scoring and threes, which are 2 key categories for me. And not feeling super great.
Yeah, you had a 47-point bomb from Curry, and you're still losing not points. Winning that. That's not a great sign.
No, Portis laid a huge egg. Caruso laid a huge egg. Everybody else has done pretty good. Like
it was a ballsy
but Mikey's
move.
Team is also just really high scoring.
It was a ballsy move to put in Caruso, I'd say.
I needed the stocks. But like Mikey's just a really high scoring team. Everyone on his team scores like 25 a game.
Mobley also had a big game, and then Embiid has been an absolute destruction machine.
He's good at basketball.
Yeah, that has definitely been like Mikey's late season form has been just. Embiid's been good all season, but man, he's been just amazing the past few months. His health has
turned around. Like he had a lot of injuries in the midseason, and now he's gotten healthy, and that's helpful.
Mikey also started benching some of his Magic players, which has helped him overall.
Wise move.
And he's just starting Mr. Wagner, who still is
and
solid.
Bamba.
And Bamba. Bamba's good fantasy stats still.
He gets you blocks.
Yeah, blocks and threes.
Um,
On the Wagner.
Yeah, I'm not feeling super great. I've just down so many core people that I don't have easy replacements for. And they've all gone, like I lost Giddy and Simons in like 3 days, within like 3 days of each other. And they're definitely both done for the year. Vanderbilt's banged up. There goes the stocks. Like it is just, I've just lost guys who were really important to key categories. Like Giddy was triple double man. He also got a boatload of rebounds and offensive rebounds for a guard. So he inflated the big man stats a lot. There's obviously no guards available really that get you like 8 or 9 rebounds a game, 4 or 5 of them offensive. Josh Hart's probably like the closest facsimile to that. He gets a lot of rebounds, but yeah, I just
great word.
Thank you. I just lost a lot of my big man stats and haven't had a ready replacement for them, and that's kind of been the downfall. And without the big man stats, I'm kind of hosed. So who knows? Anything could happen. There's still ejections and triple doubles, and Draymond's back, so Curry could start throwing 45s on everybody every night because his big buddy is back to give him the ball.
And is it like, it's weird that that Mikey's actually been bad at the big man stats, even though he has like very good big men. He just doesn't have
he
a
doesn't
lot
have
of
that
them.
many of them.
That's
He has Mobley and Embiid basically.
Bamba, kind of.
Yeah, but Bamba is like, he doesn't get a lot of rebounds. He hits threes and gets blocks, but he doesn't get rebounds and he doesn't shoot a high percentage because he's mostly a 3-point shooter.
That's true. That's fair.
Like he's mostly guards, but mostly efficient guards.
Right.
So that's helpful.
Yeah, you got a tough road.
I'm in trouble.
I wish you. Why didn't you play pool?
Because he had fewer games. We discussed this.
Oh, we did discuss this, but like over Caruso.
Because I needed stocks. Because I was never going to beat him in points anyway. Because I have one scorer basically in Curry. Right. And Poole is good, but his scoring is basically what he does. And I need more than scoring.
All right.
Out of that, because I'm going to lose scoring no matter what I do.
All right. Good luck.
Yes. How are you feeling?
I think a tie is possible.
What happens in a tie?
I have no idea. I need to look it up.
The league just breaks.
I don't know. That's actually a really good question. I feel like this happened last season, and everybody was mad at me, and I don't remember what happened.
I vote real life game of 1-on-1.
That would be good.
I believe Joe is pretty good at real basketball. So
it probably is something silly like seeding or some nonsense. I'm competitive in the categories I need to be competitive in. So efficiency stats. Although Joe's currently at 95% free throws because Karl-Anthony Towns had a 15 of 16 performance last night and it completely blew up
the fact that you're as close as you are with that monster game is I think is a good sign, because like your rebounds you're not down by much, your points you're not down by much, you're up on threes.
And I haven't had a lot of games from the guys that are doing stuff. I punted assists. And I basically punted points. I wasn't expecting to points would have been a gravy category. And I'm actually close on blocks and steals, which blocks I was not expecting to be close on. Steals I should be doing better. I have not been getting a lot of steals lately. And I need to, those are like I think I can pip them on O-Rebs. And I think I can get maybe 2 out of 4 of like steals blocks. If his team cools off, I might be able to sneak points because everybody's playing pretty well right now. And I'm pretty happy with the crew that's out there, but yeah, it'll be close. I'm happy to be close with the Cats, like literally historic performance.
Yeah. Arguably the best non-Wilt big man game ever. Maybe non-Shaq. I don't know.
That's a good, I mean, that's not wrong, right? Like it was 32 points in the quarter, which is nuts in the third quarter.
Big guys just don't score 60. They just don't. That's just not a thing. Like, who's the last center to score 60 in a game?
Ooh, you I can look it up. Who guess
Let me
before you
think
look it
about
up.
it. Let me think about it.
Let me also think about it. 60's a lot.
Let's come back to it. I'll keep thinking about it because I don't want to sit here with like 20 minutes
right.
of dead air while I go through a bunch of names.
Kind of similar to last week, which I think we're having a very similar conversation. He's obviously got the star power in two of the top three players in the league right now in Cat and DeJounte. A little weaker midpoint. So like his support guys all kind of put up bad games. Barnes, Halliburton, surprisingly actually Halliburton, Jackson, and Bogdan. I can't believe he started Bogdan.
Crab Snaps did stuff.
Crab Snaps did have a good. That's one of his better games lately.
Yeah, he's doing stuff.
That's dangerous. If he has good week, I'm in trouble for sure.
Yeah, he's the X factor. Cameron Payne with a bunch of assists. That's also a good one. But you did, as you said, you
totally punted that. Yeah, totally punted assists because I knew
between
I was gonna
Murray
have no
and
chance.
Garland and him, like that's probably a good call. Like he's too many good point guards.
He's probably got 4 out of the top 5 assist people in the league right now. Pretty close. Murray, Garland, yeah. So sorry, 3 out of the top 7. Like cannot win that category. It's definitely not doing that. What about I have nobody in the top 30.
Impressive.
which is awesome. So yeah, so if I can stay doing what I'm doing and maybe some of his people cool off because I've had some good consistent games. Heald had a decent game, but yeah. So I'm a maybe. I don't believe I'm gonna win, but like I could. His triple double threat though is real, and that can't happen. If that happens, it's over, like for sure.
Oh yeah, you're done for.
If DeJounte throws one in there, I'm kind of hoping for a DeJounte shutdown, midweek. That might turn the tide.
Well, it's long story short, we both have a lot of ifs and hopes and
yes,
long shots, but it might be the end of the line for your beloved hosts this week.
I think so. That is the betting money for sure. Mm-hmm. So that being said, you're basically admitting defeat.
Oh yeah, I admitted defeat 2 weeks ago.
It's true. So
I'm still trying. I'm still picking up guys and rotating, but like I just don't have the firepower right now that I did earlier.
So do you think then? So championship stolen is the table winner, the regular season winner. Joe is the roto winner. What is your final championship matchup prediction? Is it gonna be top 2? Is it gonna be roto versus table?
I think it's gonna be chalk. I think Draymond is back at the perfect time for Amy, and I think that makes a difference for her to get her into the final. Also, LeBron has to do like everything forever. So
yeah, those are good. Those are good games. That's good stuff. Yeah, Draymond, that could be I agree. That could be the X factor. Keldon Johnson also having really good games lately, which I'm sad because wow. Speaking of Amy, let's talk about how both of our trades completely and totally failed us in every dimension.
My Randall one was all right. I like it. He's done well.
Okay, so you out of like 8 trade based moves, you got one good.
I was happy with one of them.
Because Lonzo's basically out for the regular season. Capella is doing Capella stuff, but I'm not like.
But not at the level he does.
He's not a world beater this season.
It wasn't a home run for it was a home run for her in that she basically traded a guy who would soon be injured for a guy who's not. But he hasn't been what you expected him to be when you picked him.
Right. And I posit that if Lonzo was healthy, I'd actually be very happy with the trade because he was doing good stuff.
My trade was the nail in my coffin that ruined my season. Not immediately because I still had good stuff going, but by the end when I had no depth and everybody was dead. So
if you're thinking we're gonna see Amy and Joe, how do they match up? What do we got here? We got We're gonna move this. We're gonna move this.
One more.
Right
there you go.
I can do stuff. So, pretty close. Oh, that's the last 2
Yeah.
weeks. Shit.
What are their matchups during the year?
Oh, like when did they play each other?
I think Amy won one. I'm not sure.
So she beat. She's 2-0. So she swept the season series against Joe.
Fun fact, I tied her both times we played. Because that was my season. I was tie guy. Next week one of these weeks I'll wear a tie.
They are pretty even.
Yeah, it's gonna be anyone's game. It's just gonna I don't think there's like a structural advantage for either one.
Mm-mm.
I think whoever has more games and whoever plays better. I know that's like cliche, but it's just gonna come down to performance. They've both done what they needed to do to get to the spot, and now it's just gonna be like who comes through.
Mm-hmm.
And who doesn't.
I feel like the triple double X factor becomes even more important this time of year.
Yeah, LeBron and DeJounte, and there's a lot of threats. Draymond now.
Do you think Mikey has any chance against?
No.
So it's just
nobody does.
No. You're all the way. You're all the way there.
I've been saying it for 2 months that this is his season to lose.
I think I still agree. And you got to admit, it's kind of. I feel like he's like the mid 2000s Detroit Pistons of the league. Like, great team building. No absolute like. I mean, he's got Harden, but like after that, I feel like good. No, false, completely false.
No, Harden,
right,
Tatum,
bad take.
Siakam. Like, there's a lot of star power on that team.
Fine, bad take. He does have 3 people in the top 10, which is helping him.
Right, Time Lord and Scotty Barnes are definitely and Triple J are the X factors. That's what got him here. Like, yeah, he didn't mess up the early picks, but also those guys all popped, and that's how you get there.
And he doesn't even have Fred VanVleet, who's been hurt a lot. Like, he's still crushing, and
Turner's been out for much of the second half of the year too. So like,
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, there's your shot blocks, like it. Yeah, he's continued to pile them up despite not having pristine health either.
To be fair, I think he literally has 4 of the top 5 shot blockers. Turner, who has been hurt for a very long time, is still the number 1.
Well, that's blocks per game.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. He's still up there. I know that. He's 3rd.
Yeah.
So he literally has
3.
1, 2, 3. I think he's a little overcooked.
Yep.
On that particular category. But that's
Triple J leading the league in blocks. No one's talking about him for defensive player of the year, but they probably need to.
He's a first round player next season in the league, I think.
Probably
if not,
second.
He's second round.
Probably second.
At the latest, he needs to be second round.
But it's always hard when somebody explodes and they're like, when they're young, it doesn't always stick. And that's also always a concern, but he's really good. And I'm pretty sure he's like a large percentage of why that team is so good this year.
Oh yeah. Like him. I mean, he's also just like looking at this. He's what's his per game? Let's go back to per game, because this will still show up. You stupid. I mean, he's doing 2 threes a game, 80% on free throws for big guys, pretty good. He's a steal a game on top of his blocks. Like, that's just, he's filling the stat sheet. That's good. That's good money right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's hard to bet against that.
Yep. And you know what he's not having to do? He's not scraping the bin of the of the tanking teams like we have done with our whack-a-mole Portland Trailblazers pickups that we've had all season.
Yes, I have
last like 3 weeks.
I am absolutely firing darts at a picture wall of the Blazers' current starting lineup. I tried Brandon Williams. He I probably could have played him because he's doing stuff. And then in the unlikely eventuality that I win next week or win this week for next week, I picked up, I don't even know their name.
Trendon Watford and Drew Eubanks. There you go.
There you go.
Welcome.
Some bigger guys.
Oregon State's own Drew Eubanks. So hometown boy.
Who are you relying on?
I've got Josh Hart, this guy right here behind me, who is probably, of all the people we've mentioned, the only actual real NBA player.
It's probably true.
I mean, he had a 44 and a 31 in consecutive games. I think that he is being auditioned for future trade value right now. I could see a scenario where he is attached to one or both of their lottery picks as for a big move if they decide to go that direction. Because
fun story though. Sorry, before you continue that, I'll cut you. Just because I noticed those 3 players are all in the top 60 in the past week. So there
you go.
They might be the garbage men to lead us to victory. You never know.
And it's good. Like, it's Watford has earned himself some minutes. He got himself a contract extension out of it at a really low price. So that's cool. He's probably proven himself as a rotation player. And Eubanks is a guy who does things. He sets good screens, which is something you could always say about a big guy who doesn't do a whole lot, but you can say he sets good screens, and he does. He knocks people over constantly.
Ooh, I always like a good screen.
I do like that. But yeah,
I feel like actually I'm curious now, because so many screens, they're just like the floating slide screen where it's just like, I'm going to step in your way and then follow you for 5 steps. It's like beyond a moving screen. It's like barely even a screen.
Yeah, it's like a stand in the way.
Yes, and I feel like if you actually just stand still and actually get run into now, that's like a hard screen that people aren't expecting because you're like, people are like, hey, you're supposed to move with me and just get in my way. And you're like, no.
Taking you out.
Who do you think they can get for Hart, going back to your trade?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Who do you want? Who do you want still? Now that they've done all this massive open heart surgery, what is your postseason preferred capable haul?
I mean, what I've always wanted was Siakam, but that's never gonna happen because that team is too good. I kind of thought maybe there was a window if they weren't that good this year that they could say, well, we have so many young guys, let's jettison the really high paid, not as young guy and get a couple lottery picks for it, but they're too good right now. Like, they can take their shot with that team in the next couple years as Barnes matures. I'm guessing they end up with Jeremy Grant, if I had to guess, who's fine. He's good. He's not the second best player on a championship team. So if they trade Josh Hart and 2 picks for him, they're not any better than they were before they traded CJ. Because they essentially just traded, CJ and a lottery pick for, they traded a near all-star and a lottery pick for another near all-star. Like, it's not really how you win titles. Now, if he's your 4th guy or your 3rd guy, if there's a universe in which they can trade Hart and the New Orleans pick, and then they find the Mobley or the Scotty Barnes out of this draft, who is immediately a big time contributor and is their second best player and a near all-star in his first season. And then Grant is your 3rd best player, and you got Nurk and Simons back there. Then maybe you could start talking about making some noise, but
hypothetical.
That's a lot of ifs.
Hypothetical. What happens if, because the bottom of the West is a hot garbage fire, what happens if the Blazers accidentally make the play?
That would be so bad. They're like a half a game back.
They're not far.
They've been basically playing a G League team for the past month. And they're still, and I think they've won 1 game in past 3 weeks, and they're still right there, which is very disappointing. If what the Trailblazers of the Olshey era would have done is they would have rushed Dame back. Nurk would still be there. Simons would still be there. They would win the play-in tournament, get the 8th seed, and get crushed by Phoenix. That's what would happen. That's 100% what would have happened in the Olshey era. That does not appear to be the plan here. They are clear. Like every time someone does something good, they shut them down. It's like, ooh, okay, Nurk, you have done really well. Let's give you a rest. Oh, Simons, you were clearly like a 22 point per game guy. Okay, you're done for. Hart's like 4 games away from being shut down for the season. Like if he puts up another 30-point game, he may not play again. And then
so like at some point, so interesting thought process through this of like at some point, conceptually, like people aren't organizations, right? There's like the whole NFL, throwing games debacle because of the Dolphins coach guy.
Yeah, because he told him to.
Yeah. At one point, like, do people get up in arms because like the Blazers start like literally fielding just a G League team? Like, is there a world where that gets
the Philadelphia 76ers of the first half of the decade? They did that for literally 5 years. Like
that's true.
And that's in freaking Philadelphia. Like Portland.
That was the whole season. That was the whole season.
No, that was for like half a decade. That was not a season.
But I mean, like they started bad and finished bad. They were just terrible the whole way through versus like actively like throwing ballast out of the boat.
Well, wouldn't you rather like you have a good team, but it all falls to pieces and you realize that no matter what you do, you're kind of hopeless for this season? Wouldn't you want to maximize your ability to compete the following season? I think every fan on earth understands this.
100%. So the strategy at the team level, no disagreement whatsoever. It's just a curious, like what do you have to like, what window dressing is required to make it reputable? Because I think this is a good example.
2 lottery picks. That's enough for everybody.
This is a good example, and I'm going to tie in multiple sports here to like make the point. As you know,
here comes the soccer reference.
As I know you love. So this on top of also like the recent MLB CBA nonsense is a good example where like without some consequence of being bad, like professional leagues totally fall apart, right? Like the incentives just you cannot make a positive incentive loop without an actual consequence to badness.
Yes,
it's like
yes,
bad.
And that makes total sense because it takes time and money and investment and buy-in to be good.
Right.
But like you can just be an owner with a vanity project that you don't give a shit about, but you get to say you own a team and then put no money into it and not care how it does.
And
a lot of owners do that across every single sport. And that goes to that's why you need the negative feedback.
And I feel like basketball is hard, but like, as you've said many times, I believe on this show, that like, it's a star driven sport. You can draft a LeBron and just be good and get money. Whereas like baseball to me seems like an incredibly difficult game to be good at for a long time.
It's much more deliberate.
Yeah. And like,
it's much more like up to chance.
And so like if you just why bother, right? If you're just getting like fat TV money, like why bother?
Right.
So it's
there's a game every day. Who cares? Like
who cares?
Like yes, for a couple weeks a year when the World Series comes around, that's exciting. But most of the time, people just want to show up and drink beer and sit outside and like feel the ballpark. Also, basketball is also like the way that the tank works in basketball, I think is different than the way it works in other sports. Like there's the adage that the coaches and the players always play to win, no matter what. But the GM plays to lose in this because that's what they're doing.
Right.
Like, the Blazers play really hard every night. They try very hard. They've won some games they shouldn't have, and it's hurt their lottery chances because they played too well. And the GM has been like, okay, well, let's get this guy out of here. He's shown enough. We'll pay him. He's good. But we need to lose now. So the GM actively makes the team worse. But like what they're not doing is lollygagging out. Like it's like the Dolphins thing was so bad because they were being told to lose.
Yeah, fair.
No one's telling the Blazers to lose. They're just taking out all of their people so that they can't win.
I understand the difference.
Yeah.
But it's also hilarious to make like such a distinction to be like, oh, well, we're just not going to let you win. but
Yes.
play as you will.
This is also like a unique situation where anytime your best player goes down for a significant period of time, it's like, what's the point? Just with the Spurs when they did their David Robinson tank and ended up with Tim Duncan, like that's the model that the Blazers are hoping that they land on. Like they're not tearing the whole team to pieces. They are trying to get themselves in position to make a move or grab 2 high quality young guys and hope that a younger team led by old man Dame being overpaid can get them across the finish line. I don't know. I'm fine with it. I love it. And it also means I don't have to stay up as late this year because games start at like 10 o'clock my time and I can just go to bed instead. Not have to worry about it. Just look at the box score the next day.
I've forgotten how most people live in the sports world, being on the West Coast, and like my team plays at 5 o'clock, which is phenomenal. Most nights, like phenomenal. And then I was recently on the East Coast, as fans remember, doing the show from Virginia, and like the first game started at 7 my time, and I'm like, whoa.
That's too late.
Yeah, it's too
West
late.
Coast games at like 10:30.
Yeah, you can't. It's like not even possible. Like screw that noise.
This is why West Coast bias exists in sports, because all the games start in the middle of the night,
which is funny.
Can't stay up.
I'm surprised that like all the sports outlets just haven't moved to the West Coast.
That's probably a good call.
Like why not?
Why aren't they all in LA?
Yeah, exactly. That makes more sense. Like they'd be able to watch everything. Like, I don't get it, Nat. All right, so
you know what I miss is the 10 a.m. football game. I miss the 10 a.m. and the 9 a.m. college football game. I miss that so much.
Nice.
That was the best.
It's nice. I do wish I could watch my cycling at a more reasonable time because I'm a old man. But it's on it like the end of the races are always like right like 8:30. That's just a little too early. Like I want some preamble. Rugby though is on like 7 or 8 o'clock. That's like nice. I get some coffee.
Your greatest old man trait is that you were the last person in the world who doesn't have DVR.
I still don't have it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You were the last like there are people in far less privileged parts of the world who have DVR still.
To be fair, DVR is now like dead. So like all those things now are recorded. And like I watch now, like the cycling, I watch the highlights. Like it's actually great. They have the long highlights. We're getting way off base, but I don't care. It's like a 35-minute.
Basically done. It doesn't matter.
It's like we're just sending one up for the fans. They have a long highlights like 35 minutes, so it's like all the peaks of and then the last like 10 kilometers of the race. It's like perfect. And then the rugby they have immediate replays. So like yes, I don't have DVR, but I don't need it. So your point's fine. On that note, I think that's a good place to end before we get completely out of control here. Moral story: you're gonna lose, I'm gonna lose, and we will have nothing to talk about next week.
Nope. We can just be sad.
We could just be sad
together. We should probably
together.
Get drunk first.
Ooh, I like that.
Yep.
Until then, drunk show coming next week.
Prepare for sadness.